You know, every athlete, every professional athlete that comes in here and works this camp has a story of how they got to where they are. And to be able to hear that from a guy who's made it really has a big impact on these kids. And I think that's the biggest thing that this camp leaves on these kids.
You have the returning athletes, past and present. They come in here, they got good attitudes, they're excited to see the kids, they're excited to teach the kids, and the kids are equally excited. And I think that's a big difference.
The pros show more respect to the kids than the kids do to the pros. And it's amazing to see that dynamic, because you would expect the kids to just be gaga. And they are to a certain extent, but the pros are as gaga over the kids and vice versa. It's a beautiful thing.
These guys aren't here because somebody coerced them, say, guys, you got to do me a favor, you got to come out here. They're like, yeah, I love this. So, and it easily shows on the pros and the staff who are helping.
As a parent, sometimes my words get lost on my child.
You can tell them 9 times the same principle, but it just went in one ear and out the other. You get a professional athlete out here to tell him the same thing you've been telling him for the last 5 years, and it takes.
That has a bigger impact on him than, me trying to get him to do that.
Because the athletes that are out here are those type of athletes. They have high integrity, they're family people, they're here to mentor the children and teach them the right things to do. So when it's coming from a professional athlete versus a dad, the impact is huge.
I go to a lot of camps every summer, but really what separates this camp from the others is having a professional teach you how to play your position perfectly.
Every kid, including mine, loves to work with pro football players, and so to have the chance to come out and do a linebacker drill with a professional linebacker is tough to beat.
I coach for the city. I've had a host of kids. One in particular jumps out to me. He had all the athletic ability in the world. He was a little tough guy, a little bad guy. His big brothers are gang members, they're jail, that kind of thing. Single parent home, and football was his outlet. And when I got him, he was pretty mouthy, pretty disrespectful. He had no respect for authority at all, pretty standoffish, very insecure behind all of that. And he has attended this camp. At the pro football camp, he's like, I met a professional football player. I met a bunch of them, and they told me, which is awesome, that I can do this too if I want to. I can go to college, I can play ball, I can go to the NFL if I want to. This camp is building his character, his person, his moral fibers, and I'm glad that they really emphasize that.
It's also great just listening to the pros talk about their experience, about being part of a team, about teamwork, and about responsibility.
I think it's a rare opportunity for anybody to get this much time with a professional athlete. And not just a professional athlete, but a professional athlete that has stories about character, about how to live your life, not just play the game of football. And so I believe that to be shoulder to shoulder, 4 hours a day, multiple days with some of those players is what makes this camp very unique.
I can say that every year there's been probably a different group of pro football players out here, and everybody kind of brings something different.
These players, they donate their time and they're there for the kids, all for the kids, and they give them so much, and they help them and they encourage them, and to me, that's priceless.